Welcome, guys. Hope you're all excited. 11 days to go. All right, let's get this show on the road. So welcome, everyone, to the frequently asked questions and answers for Colosseum 2025 Cypherpunk Hackathon, which is on until the 30th of October. So in Australia, we have about 10 days to go. The rest of the world has 10 and a half days to go, but we all expire or need to submit at the same time. So the purpose of this next 56 minutes is to go through the frequently asked questions. Some of it might be obvious, some of it might be rhetorical, but it's good to know because too many people make the mistake of not following basic instructions and get disqualified. So you end up wasting the last 6 to 8 weeks of your life and getting disqualified, and you could have been a real contender. And that also makes you look bad in front of people that are also interested in not of you winning the hackathon, but maybe investing in you as a VC or an angel, right? So it's pretty important to make sure you follow the rules and get the thing done. I'm going to just promote Darren. I'll make you a co-host if you can help me admit people, Nick as well, and Oscar as well. So we've got a few people from our team here. Hopefully they can help with making sure no spammers jump in and do anything nasty like last time. Cool. Thank you. I can't, but let me ping. Okay, Matty Tay has just replied. He can't make it right now, but he's going to see if someone can join us. I will drop the link to him as well. So Matty Tay is the founder of Colosseum, if you didn't know that already. Let's see. Cool. All right, so let's go through this. So what is Colosseum, right? So I think that's the first question up here. What are Colosseum hackathons? These are global online competitions designed to grow the Solana startup ecosystem and evaluate founder talent for our venture fund. If you didn't know already, it's a venture fund. And according to Tolly, the founder of Solana, it's better than YC. So we run global hackathons twice a year, as well as our perpetual challenge called Eternal. So after this finishes, we will roll into something called Eternal. So Eternal is something that runs all year round, except for when Colosseum is running its hackathons, right? So don't fret if you don't win or place, or you miss the deadline, or you don't qualify for whatever reason. Eternal will kick on from the 1st of November, okay? So if you're considering building a crypto startup, the hackathons provide the perfect opportunity to showcase what you can build while competing against other elite builders. So that's a pretty key word there, right? What they're looking for is the best of the best, and you're competing against them, right? So don't think that just submitting something is going to be good enough to win. Obviously, it lets you compete against the best of the best and maybe shows where you might stand. The Colosseum hackathons are different from traditional hackathons that you may have participated in. The competitions are intended for serious developers and entrepreneurs. Now, that's a funny one, right? We all know crypto. Not everyone is serious. Some people are just trying to find out where they fit in. But the funny thing is that something serious comes out of it, right? When we show you some of the projects that have come past or the people behind them in the past, right? They were just fucking around, right? And trying to find out if there is product market fit. So I don't know if it is just for serious developers. It is about finding out where you fit in to the ecosystem and in the crypto world, right? So it's to compete over 5 weeks, and us Aussies and Kiwis, we've actually had an extra 4 weeks on top of that, right? Because we started in September. So it gives us a chance to receive pre-seed funding from Colosseum's venture fund and to admit into Colosseum's accelerator program. Question number 2, how do I compete when a hackathon is not running? So for crypto founders looking to launch their startups in between hackathons, we already covered this, right? So Eternal starts 1st of November. So as soon as Colosseum Cypherpunk ends, we go straight into Eternal, right? So that also gives you $250,000. So every dollar amount that we mentioned today is always going to be in US dollars, right? So Eternal kicks in soon as the Cypherpunk finishes, and that's a 4-week development sprint to show what you are made of. And in that case, you're not basically competing against other people, really. You're actually just competing to show what you are capable of doing. All right, so do I need to register for submitting? Yes. We highly recommend register as soon as possible because you're not getting judged only by your end submission. If you look at a gentleman by the name of B-Man, who's won numerous hackathons, right? He's doing Samui build. I'll share his Twitter at the moment, right? So he started this Twitter and he's dedicated it, right? It's free. It's so obvious that signing up for things like Twitter, buying a domain name for $5-10, getting a Discord or getting people following you, even streaming, is net positive for eyes on your project, right? So do I need to register? Yes, register, get your Twitter and everything, right? If you are part of the team, sign up for the Colosseum, and we need a team leader, and make sure you set that team leader as submitting from Australia. Because what we want to do as part of Hackaroo is to make sure we amplify the Aussies that are building. Even if you're from New Zealand, please amplify Australia, because if Australia wins, then obviously New Zealand comes up with it as well. Okay, I can see a question here. Could you also share a bit more about yourselves and your company Hackaroo, and what are you currently doing? Okay, cool. Let's divert a little bit to Hackaroo for a second. So Hackaroo, I'll give you a background of Hackaroo. So Hackaroo is the Australian hackathon. We took it on ourselves as part of Solana ANZ. So Solana ANZ is the community arm for Australia and New Zealand. Solana ANZ is the Australian and New Zealand hub for all things Solana. So we're a community group that host meetups and events and promote projects and team up with teams around Australia and New Zealand. So what we decided was that we would like to do a hackathon in Australia. We created Hackaroo and asked projects from down under to help us promote our hackathon, and got some judges, mentors, supporters who've donated as well and have been running events for the last 6 weeks. And then we spoke to Super Team, who gave us a grant, and that grant, it included a condition that we needed to be part of Colosseum to continue, right? So now what's happened is we have become an official sidetrack of Colosseum, right? So if you see here, that we are now part of Colosseum as a sidetrack, where we have, on top of the normal prizes, we have $15,000 worth of prizes, $5,000 worth of US dollars, plus $10,000 worth of AWS Amazon credits that will be distributed after the hackathon concludes. Hopefully that answers your question. Yeah? Beautiful, thank you. All right, let's go back to this. So yes, you need to register for Colosseum. At the moment, we have 53 registrations. That's phenomenal growth. Last year, the last hackathon, which was known as Breakout, had 15 registrations from Australia and New Zealand. Now we have 53. So we've already 4x'd, right, our registrations, which is phenomenal. And hopefully that would imply that there is talent here and there is demand here for a super team, right? So that's one of the objectives of doing all of this. All right, so do I need to register? Yes, you do. The project submission portal will go live 1 week before the hackathon end date. In order to be eligible for any prizes and admittance into our accelerator program, team leaders must complete the project submission before the deadline, and only one submission per team. Okay, like I said before, find a person to submit as an Australian and submit on your behalf. Okay. Our Colosseum hackathons for new projects and who is eligible to win. So Colosseum hackathons are for new projects that haven't raised outside capital. So if you have raised before, you do not qualify. They're not intended for established projects that have been building the same project for years and have already raised venture funding. Yes, however, projects will only be judged on the work completed. This is why you need to make sure you have a GitHub, right? If you don't have a GitHub and you're submitting or doing PRs regularly, that's not going to have a positive look on you, right? So make sure you are doing pull requests and submitting to the repo as frequently as possible. If you're an entrepreneur or a developer building a new product that you haven't raised funding for, yes, you are eligible, right? So if you have a company and you've got a product, then yeah, create a Twitter for it and market that and use that, right? So for example, you might have a company in Australia or somewhere in the world, and then you created a brand new product. So B-Man, for example, again, has numerous projects, but instead of using them, he's just using his Samui wallet, and he's building that every day for the hackathon. Builders may use pre-existing code, yes. However, teams are required to disclose all relevant information, including past development work. So we have one team, I don't think they're on the call right now, but they have previously done really well in development, but now they're adding a new product in their line, which will qualify to submit. If upon inspection, the project team is found to have misrepresented their project's development history or failed to disclose relevant information, Colosseum retains the sole right to disqualify them or ban the project for future and revoke the prizes. Okay. So pre-existing code does not refer to open source code developed previously. In fact, we encourage project founders to compose with existing Solana protocols, right?
When you access the developer resources, you can click over on the Colosseum. One question that we currently get a lot was whether or not it needed to be a public repo. And it does not for this hackathon need to be a public repo, but they do have a hackathon at Colosseum email GitHub account that you need to add to your GitHub repo in order for them to be able to verify the creation and so forth. There is only just one repo that they currently look at due to previous people just dumping in a bunch of repos, which impacts the likes of me because I've got multiple repos. But just keep, as you're thinking about your GitHub, if you have it in one project, it's much easier for them to see your continued development versus numerous repos, but I don't have the time to move it into a mono repo at the moment. So we've had a bunch of workshops and other workshops within Colosseum. There are recordings of both our workshops and the workshops that have been done by Colosseum to be able to have a look at certain stuff. One I'd bring attention to is anyone who's doing interesting stuff in the mobile. There was the mobile kit workshop that we did that has got a bunch of really good code for the mobile application. There is also a Solana Seeker track as well on top of this. And recently in Colosseum, because I did it this morning, you can now hit a checkbox and say that if you're building for mobile, to be included in that potential $10,000 grant and marketing support for launch. So I would just remind people in the Colosseum project, it's been updated. And the other big thing is to do weekly check-in videos. So I've missed one of those personally, but it's a 1-minute video to record your progress. And I also would recommend using something like Loom, which is a free screen recorder, just to give a little bit of a demo of progress and put that in. And the next one opens up in 10 hours. Back to you, Sal.
So where can I ask the technical questions during the hackathon? So for those that are not invited yet, feel free to DM me or ping now. We have a Hackaroo submitters channel on Telegram, right? So we invite projects that are serious because there's a lot of unserious people out there. And what we want to do is focus our energy on serious people, and in particular, serious people in Australia during Aussie time zones. I got a message from Apple this morning saying your daily hours online is 14.5 hours, right? So someone, including me, is online nearly all of the time to answer any questions, especially during Aussie hours. So ask away. Any technical questions? I'm a developer relations advocate. Darren's a developer. Nissan is available. And I don't think anyone can complain that they haven't been provided any access. If you don't ask, we can't read your mind. Just ask us who you want to be put in touch with. As I mentioned, Maddie, the founder of Colosseum, is available. We've got B-Man, who has volunteered to mentor people. We've got Kirill from Raybot, who recently volunteered to help you. So if there is anyone from the Solana ecosystem that you want access to, they are available to you within hours. We've been putting people in touch with prediction markets, with launch pads, with security teams. Anything you need, just DM us. But remember, we are here to help Aussies and Kiwis win. So we will give you access as long as you reach out to us.
Just on that, Sal, there's also a Discord for Colosseum as well. And there's also a developer group that Sal set up as well, which is good for conversations around coding issues beyond the scope of the Hackaroo. And anyone who's given a talk has also normally said that they are open. So if you hit them up and say that you were part of the hackathon, I know I've already hit up the guy from Metaplex and talked to him about some stuff. Most people are available. You just need to reach out.
Exactly. Everyone is here. That's the thing I love about Solana, is that everyone is always accessible. Everyone from the janitor all the way to the president. So if you've got a question for the president, just let us know and we'll get you in touch. But I don't think you need to talk to the president at the moment. A shout out to Lily. Yeah, Down Under Devs is our Telegram group. That's a generic group for all developers down under. And then, yeah, we've got a dedicated one just for Hackaroo as well. All right, so technical questions. So just to recap, we've got a dedicated Hackaroo, a technical group. You can jump in the Colosseum Discord. Does anyone have any experience from there? Anyone got a good experience in there?
I would say the time zone is a kicker because your questions get lost. So using the Down Under ones and the Hackaroo is much better.
Yeah, 100%. And then the third one is Stack Exchange. So if you go to solana.stackexchange.com, I'm on there answering questions as part of my role. Just ask away there if it's public. Or there's also a developer experience Telegram chat, but it's not that popular, I guess. I don't see many questions coming up in there. Just a quick plug to our event tomorrow again. Here's another Pudgy Penguin. Not very clear. Cool. All right. Next question.
Also, Sal, on Wednesday night, we have a Solana ANZ meeting at QUT with a bunch of students.
Yeah.
QUT Code, which is one of the largest sort of coding groups associated with the university. And we do want to show some people's pitch. We'll be promoting Hackaroo, trying to get you some users and maybe some people to join. So don't forget to try to send through a 1-minute pitch video, and we can have that on screen for the Pudgy and showcase some of those as well for the QUT event on Wednesday night.
Thank you. So the call to action there is send us your videos so we can put it in front of probably up to 100 or more people this week, Tuesday and Wednesday. I don't think it's open to the public, so there isn't any link available for people to join, is it? It's only for the students of QUT, right?
Yeah, the Wednesday night one is. So there will be like 60 crypto folks there. So it wouldn't hurt to have a sign up, use my product QR code in your video, or a table, last frame type of thing if you're looking for users.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you. Cool. All right. Lost my position here. Okay. can I submit project individually or do I need a team? Yeah, so you can be a solo founder, but it is very good idea to have co-founders because looking for one afterwards can get very noisy. There are people out there that have successful projects by themselves, but it's always good to work as a team. But yeah, there's no reason why you can't be a solo founder, bounce ideas off. Yeah. But the Colosseum platform, either for now or for future events as well, there are thousands of people on there. I get messages from people all the time based on my profile saying, hey, would you like to join my team? And vice versa. I sometimes look there for people that might be building something that I'm currently interested in. So check out the Colosseum platform arena to see what other.
In the Discord, there is actually a channel for looking and finding for team members, and people are advertising as well. So it's a good place if you're looking for additional team members or looking to join a team.
Cool. I'll just show you what the back end looks like. If you haven't seen it already, you should look at it. It's very good. So you can look for here. You can look for product ideas here. And then, yeah, you can message people and attend workshops as well. And this is what I was talking about before, Eternal, right? So it's a full-on platform that does everything, right? It's very good. All right. Even though Colosseum's hackathon is online, there are in-person events that I can attend. Yes. So Solana ANZ, Solana Foundation, and Super Teams, they're running events all around the world. We've got an event in Brisbane tomorrow night, and then another one on Wednesday night. And there is actually, that's it in IRL at the moment. We are planning one, but it's not public yet based on some places that we're looking to book out. If you do want to stay on top of all these events, the only place you need to go to is luma.com/Solana ANZ and subscribe to the calendar. Highly recommend this. It's the best way to be made aware of all the events that happen down under. For example, the Pudgy event is there. The Run event is there. There's a barbecue in Sydney, closing ceremony, right? And there's even a New Zealand event here as well, right? So highly recommend subbing to this calendar. It's the best way to stay in touch of what's happening down under. All right. Do I need to be technical? Nissan, are you free to handle this?
Yeah. Do I need to be technical to join it? It's not a requirement to be an engineer to participate. If you have skills in marketing, business development, design, many technical builders have a business-minded co-founder. The key is always finding someone who pairs well with your skill set. Just speaking as a solo co-founder, this is the missing piece of my puzzle. I'm technical, but I don't have that business mind. AI can substitute for a little bit, probably just enough to get you through the hackathon, but long term, if you're going with a product, you got to find that other side. So I tell people, like, you don't need to be technical. AI can help you to start. From what I've seen with the Colosseum videos, like where they said how you won Colosseum and how to participate, they look at much as your business idea as much as your code. Some of them actually don't even look at your code in the judges panel. They look to see that you have a good business model around what you're trying to do.
All right. This is a good one. Hopefully you've seen this already. Did you want to keep going this time?
Yeah, sure. Where can I find project ideas? While builders are encouraged to enter the hackathon with their own novel concepts, builders can discover and discuss potential product ideas in Colosseum's forum. I'll just add on, I think you shared, Sal, a list of projects that want to be built as well in all channels. So there's no lack of good ideas.
Yeah, exactly. So some product ideas you can find in here. And then there's a request for products, an RFP that MR Inco did as well. I'll share the link as soon as I find it in a second.
Yeah. And just a little bit of alpha, like projects that are established on Solana, they look for people who implement these things, not just to support, but also sometimes if you're like job hunting, they want to bring you on board because these are things they actively want to grow in their own products. So if you're not looking to go the VC route and try to raise and run, but you're just looking to try and get yourself known, doing these types of ideas get you noticed on the radar of those bigger companies. So what's the required information in the project submission form? Hackathon projects will need to provide the following. You need a product name and a brief description, which hackathon tracks you're submitting to, a list of teammates with context on your background and previous experiences.
Can I just jump in there, Nissan? You need to get your co-founder to sign up to, or we're working on the Colosseum. Like I've got a movie guy, got him to sign into Colosseum, but having him in the team and having him in Colosseum is very beneficial. Back to you, Nissan.
Sure. Where the team is located, hopefully you're putting ANZ or region. A product logo.
So the team leader has to be in Australia or submitting from Australia, but the rest can be from anywhere.
Oh, awesome. That's good. A product logo or graphic. Don't let this be a blocker. If you do ChatGPT and you type in my logo right now is ChatGPT generated. So don't let that be a blocker. GitHub or GitLab repo links. So while open source repos are encouraged, you may keep your repo private. If you decide to close source your code, you're required to share with hackathon at colosseum.org so hackathon organizers and judges can review. This is something I didn't do because mine is closed. So I need to remember to add these guys. You need a link to a presentation video and a link to a technical overview video. All presentations must be submitted as a video presentation. Videos should be no longer than 3 minutes.
Important.
Yeah.
If it's any longer than that, you're fucked. I can't find the tweet right now, but Matty Tay said bluntly after the deadline closed that there were so many submissions that went over this. And he said, when you add that and multiply that by the number of submissions, it's just phenomenal how much time it wastes for people. We had Saba Karim who did a presentation before, and he talked about doing it in 45 seconds, right? So it's not about showing everything that your product can do. It's about talking about what's the best problem that it's solving, right? In the shortest time that's possible. Someone just messaged here saying, it's the hardest bit. That means you need to fine tune it better and you need to pitch it more. Send us a video of whatever it is now, and we will chop it up for you and tell you what's good in it, all right? Because most of it will just be padding, right?
Yeah.
I would just add, a lot of people think of it like a movie trailer, right? You're not trying to explain everything. You just have to like check out the awesomeness that I'm doing and why I'm doing it. The hardest part is definitely getting like a compelling thing in a few minutes. So start on your pitches as soon as possible, which gives you the most time to iterate rather than leaving it to last minute.
I write a script. I personally write a script and I put it in bits of 10 seconds. I try to break it up. And then if I go over 3 minutes, I find which 10-second clip I can cut or I can merge. Loom is really good at helping you because you're recording yourself and seeing yourself speak back. You can tell if you're articulate, if you're speaking too fast, if you're moving too slow, if this piece really fits. I really love Loom for that ability. The free version is quite enough. Google Meets, if you do a Google Meet with yourself, you can record your meeting to yourself and take that. If you have a MacBook, you have time and chop it up and put it back together. It doesn't run smoothly, but you get your script from back. This is why you need a co-founder, because this is a lot to do while you're building stuff, as I'm learning. And the AI can't do this for you. The AI can help script writing, but it doesn't sound authentic when you let the AI write the script for you. So give yourself enough time to build this presentation. For every 3-minute presentation, there's probably 30 minutes that went into preparing it for me.
Yeah, I think as a teacher, we were taught, right? It takes 3 times longer for preparation of what you deliver. I've just put some ideas, right? So the Screen Studio is what I use to make demos. It's $80, but it's the best $80 you'll ever spend. I think that link there has a discount code. A teleprompter is the type of app you can download on your iPhone. So it actually has the script for you. And I made a video yesterday and CapCut showed me what to say, right? Like based on what I wanted to convey. So I highly recommend these 3 products.
One other thing that I do sometimes is I'll record a product demo and then speed it up because the loading times to interact with chains or some of that other stuff. So I can increase it to 1.5, which means I can get through a little bit more of a product demo, even though that's not the natural speed. So I'd recommend doing a product recording and then just speeding that up a bit.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder how many people are doing that, right? Getting a 5-minute video and then speeding it up.
I did that trick, but I did 1.25 instead of 1 when I spoke. So that's why I said, notice if you're speaking too fast, too slow. If you're naturally a slow speaker, the speeding up can help. If you're like me and speak really fast all the time, probably doesn't help you very much.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, I meant like the product demo, not the voiceover. I record like this and I don't say anything, turn the video off, take it into, you can also use Canva and then increase that speed and then record over the top of it afterwards and then put the audio in at 1 speed, but the video demo at 1.5, which means I can get through more of the product demo rather than it being dead time waiting on server responses and stuff like that. I can squeeze just a little bit more in the time.
Yeah, that's a reminder. You know what? I'll do a workshop next week on chopping up your videos. Let's do that. Cool.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All projects will be reviewed. And remember, you've got different tracks as well. So you have different judges and different tracks. So understanding what they're looking for and what interests them is good. You need to get through everything in your time, but you need to ensure the product market fit is one of the big things. Beyond just building something cool, a lot of this is like, how do we create the next crop of startups? So showing something that's actually going to generate a business that either generates revenue or some sort of return is key. And to be clear, not everyone understands the value that you're articulating without you expressing it. So think of it more like an American TV show. You need to explain the joke rather than another TV show where you don't need to explain the joke, okay? Why is it you guys that are doing it? Or who do you have in the team, if you wanted to take this forward, to be able to do that? And think of that a tweet or a tagline for each of the people and why you come together to make the Avengers. They're going to take over the world. And that's very much about the team that's going to do it, like how you're going to change the world or what you want to do. There's like a cyberpunk theme to the hackathon, but there's no definitive articulation that it has to be cyberpunk. So like for me, I'm doing media. So I'll be talking about decentralized media platform, which I probably wouldn't articulate if I wasn't doing cyberpunk, to try to ensure I fit inside some of those tracks. So try to reverse engineer it from look at the selection criteria and make sure I hit those notes in the presentation itself. The other big thing is like an insight of what do you see that isn't there? And that isn't exactly product market fit, but more like I have a thesis on media. So I'm going to articulate that thesis in the pitch deck, which sort of resonates why the product might make a big difference in the future. And then the other one is like, how big can this be, right? Because if it's a product market fit. And then it's, okay, I get it. I see the problem. I see you've got some sort of unique solution in the market or something that someone else hasn't tried. Then how big can this be? Because if you think about it from an investor perspective, if you're just going to take over a town, a city, or the globe, they want to understand what this can be. Having something that says how big it can be with some sort of justification is a big thing. And AI tools can really help here. So like jumping into Claude or whichever your favorite AI tool, then asking it questions, getting the stats, understanding that is very beneficial in the justification. When you're like comparing A versus B, these are the things that sort of push you up the ranks a bit more rather than just the product in its own way. And the other bit is just if you practice a couple of times on the pitch, then you become a lot more clearer in your articulation. Because you think about it, if I'm going to push you to the top and I'm going to be a judge and I'm not a judge, but if I was a judge, I'm going to think, can I put this guy on stage or this team on stage? Are they going to articulate very well? So having that concise approach, and that's normally practice, folks, rather than skill. So if you just do it, record it, see mistakes that you've made. I know, like, I will record a video like over and over again because I mess it up most of the takes. And then if you take Nissan's idea of taking 10-second segments, then you can take your best 10-second segments, do your full minute, and then chop those up. Would be one of the big things. The other bit, which I'm not even the best at, is trying to get more visibility. So rather than just focusing on the product, it's trying to engage with people in the community, engage with other people to show that there's growth or interest in the product. So I'm shit posting at night on Twitter, like we all should be, and trying to promote and trying to engage the audience as much as we can to sort of prove that product market fit. Because if you're not live, like I'm not live, I can't prove the product market fit. So increasing that visibility, especially in a visibility that they see, the reply guy still works. It is very long. The weekly updates, 10 hours to the next one. I use the Lim video as well. And I try to keep those short. Going over the time, like I did go over the time on the first one because I was busy at Token and I didn't notice the time limit. But being in that time limit is something that the judges will get frustrated with. So like really try to keep that in. And those weekly updates, think of them more about not just the hackathon, which is like the judging at the very end, but what you say in investment is you invest in lines, not dots, which means I see progress numerous times and I can do a projection line versus you just turn up and you're just a single spot. So I'd recommend talking about your pitch or say that you're working on your pitch rather than it always just being the code as well in those updates. I comprehend how everyone else is feeling.
All right, next one. I'll do this one.
Just a previous example about the GitHub. I did a video and I had a screenshot with like numerous different GitHubs to try to demonstrate that I was working on multiple GitHubs because I don't have a mono repo, but I've only got the mobile phone app as the repo in the mechanism. So if a judge saw it, they would see that, okay, I see one repo, but there's others. So I'm trying to just jam a little bit of information on the side screen of one of the videos as a little sort of hack. But most people are probably just running in their one repo. So just make that public or make that just accessible to them.
Nice.
Back to you, Sam.
Yeah. So what do you look for in the submitted GitHub repo? So these are obvious, but we need to make sure we are spelling it out. Okay. You must be doing significant work during the hackathon, right? A full-time employee works 40 hours, crypto work 80 hours a week, right? What are you going to be submitting? So they want to see that you're a real builder, right? That's what that means. You are the one doing the work, right? So someone in your team is like constantly shipping, right? It's not like you've just outsourced it to a third party, right? It must be you or your team is constantly shipping, right? And remember, we spoke about this before. So you are prioritizing a feature strategically, right? They're not expecting you to build a whole damn thing. What they're expecting you to do is that in this 5-week period, prioritizing a feature that you want to ship, right? You can't do everything all the time, but you can do one thing really well over these 5 weeks. So if you can deliver a feature that might be your moat, you've got 10 days to make sure you prioritize it. And then obviously have Solana integrated into it, right? So I have seen some projects that are coming over from other chains, right? So adding Solana integration is mandatory, right? That's not negotiable. They're not looking for you to work using a particular language or framework. No one ever is, right? It's not a job that you work at government or in a corporate where they ask for a Python or a JavaScript developer or a React, right? What they're looking for is whatever your skill set is, use that to build with Solana. And then, yeah, we don't care about code quality, using best practice, or using design patterns, right? This is not what it's being looking for, right? That's not what they're looking for right now, okay? Darren did cover this, the weekly updates. So weekly updates are your opportunity to share your progress. Stay locked in. Now, if you look at what B-Man did, I think this is a little bit of a cheat/hack, which I would recommend. I don't think he was doing everything that was asked of previously, but now he's streaming every single day. So if you haven't been updating your followers and your project in the past, that's fine. You still have 10, 11 days to do daily updates. What's stopping you from doing that? Update everyone now, because it doesn't take much for someone to pick up on you and start following your journey and amplifying it. So maybe a 1-2 minute video every day from now until the rest of the month could be what helps you stand out, right? Now, they're not strictly required. That's fine. But you want to be a standout, right? You don't want to be mid. You want to be standing out, right? Show high agency. Should be concise, 1 minute, and what challenges you face and what progress you made. So we've covered that now. Can I submit multiple projects? No. Save that for eternal or save that for the next hackathon, right? If I win the hackathon, do I need to join the accelerator? No, you don't. So you can just walk away with the money and do something else. That would be a waste of a great opportunity. What is the code of conduct? Obviously, be respectful, be professional, be thoughtful, be open, and believe in yourself, right? A lot of people I've come across already, they don't think they have what it takes. But I think what you have to do is be committed to the cause, right? You're putting your time in and effort in. So make sure you are following through for the rest of the month, right? You started it, follow it through. I regret not submitting something previously, thinking that it wasn't good enough. But after seeing who won and what they did, it's a regret, right? It's astonishing sometimes when you think yours is not good enough, but it might be actually good enough to place, if not win as well, right?
Yeah, one thing I'd like to say, like, we're a young development community in Australia. We're trying to establish ourselves. So we open, like, chat with each other. We are competing, but it doesn't mean that we have to be at arms with each other. I'm chatting with people on other teams, helping share my tips. You
Nice.
guys openly share your tips with me. We build each other up. And I think that's one of our strengths. So in Colosseum has its rules. Let's just build each other up too. Try and help each other out, you know?
Yeah, exactly. If you have capacity, help someone, or if you need help, just ask. No one's here to judge you. We're not judging you on not being able to do something. If you're stuck, just let us know and we'll definitely support you and intro you to someone, if not multiple people. I've submitted previously and I didn't get any feedback. But what I did was when I went and saw this person at a conference, I confronted them because they're a friend, but not confronted them in a bad way, but they knew what I was coming at them for. And they're like, listen, man, I knew X, Y, Z, and this is why I didn't let you win. And this is my feedback, right? So you can get feedback after the fact, one-on-one, because you know what? If you don't ask, you're not going to get. So even though they say we don't give you feedback, you know who the judges are. So you can go get feedback. And if you want feedback and you know who is going to judge you, let me know after the hackathon finishes. I will take it upon myself to intro you to the judge who didn't give you feedback to get you feedback. At least they can give you, the minimum they should give you is 5 minutes of their time because they did review it. They should know that they reviewed it and give you feedback. So even though this says no feedback will be provided, us Aussies will get feedback via me, okay?
Just remember, there's 3,000 odd applications in the global. So if you're doing a review and a judging, to actually sit down and do feedback would multiply the effort by a factor of 5 to give feedback on every team. And then there's multiple judges to have a consistent feedback. It's actually really difficult. But what I recommend is that you guys look at getting a pitch in early, the end of this week, next week into the Hackaroo, so that we can give you some feedbacks and pointers to improve your pitch for the Colosseum, in increasing your chances to do well and placing it better. Please consider that this week as a good time to get your first version of your pitch, even though the Hackaroo closes at the same time. But we want to support you, not just in our hackathon, but in the global one. So in early and you'll get feedback from the team here.
Yeah. So before I forget, remember, this is the first ever hackathon we've done as a community, right? So the second one is actually around the corner, right? It's not far away. But guess what happens? No one ever wins their first one. Very rarely someone wins their first hackathon. So if you think of this as a test, give it your best crack. I guarantee that the next one that you submit for, you're going to be at least 10 times better. And the next one is not far away. We'll have bigger prizes, more to win, more on offer. There'll be a VC from down under that will invest in projects as well. So just keep that in mind. What is the relationship with Colosseum and Solana Foundation? Solana Foundation is the LP. Colosseum also works with the foundation to administer and promote, right? Remember, Solana Foundation wants to decentralize everything, right? So events are done by Super Team, hackathons are done by Colosseum, right? What is the dropout program? So this is about the university program, right? So what they encourage is people that are university students. If you are online and you're a university student, remember that if you're under the age of 23 and you want to leave university, they will pay you literally $250,000 to come join them if they think you are a good investment, right? It might not be relevant to anyone here, but let us know if this interests you and we'll introduce you to the right people to make this happen. I think that's it for the FAQ. We are nearly out of time. Is there anyone got any questions that would like to ask that haven't come through? I'll check my DMs. You will find me and Darren. I think, Nissan, are you coming to the Pudgy event tomorrow?
Yes, I'll be there.
Yeah, beautiful.
Awesome.
These are pretty cute. I don't know if my daughter's going to let me bring these to Brisbane tomorrow. This is a very cute one. It's not a kangaroo, but it's similar, whatever that is. Google plushies. Yeah, Darren's holding some up as well. Everyone's going to go home with one. We'll see you tomorrow night in Brisbane. Cargo, did you have any questions? Did this help? Did it encourage you?
Yeah, it definitely helped me. I'm going to organize a pitch video this week and I can send that through for some feedback.
To start registering and getting some users, right? No one is going to tell you how well you're going unless you ask for them and they can find you. So go check it out. All right, guys, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks everyone for joining. Good luck, and we will see you on chain.
If you log your project onto the Legends, let us know in the Hackaroo chat, and I'll jump in and upvote anyone who's put their project in. Share and support each other, folks.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.